Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Negotiation. As we continue our journey of understanding more about China, we inevitably come across topics that require us to look back on how we got here so that we can better understand where we are, then use it to forecast where the sector is going to go. Such is the case when trying to understand China's housing market. We have landed two resources to interview for you all, each providing varying lenses for us to see the industry through. We will be releasing our discussion with Colin Bogar, CEO and Head of Product Development at Property Passbook, in a few weeks, but first we'd like you to try and sink your ears into a discussion with a local expert, Professor Simon Zhao, former director at the International Center for China Development Studies at the University of Hong Kong. In this episode, I asked Simon about the culture of home buying in China, how the financing is supported, how newly developed ghost towns can still sell out completely, and just try to make sense overall of the housing bubble in China and how the government can try to prevent it from bursting. Enjoy.
In China, the first one responds to this financial tsunami, so-called the 4 trillion yuan injection to the economy. That 4 trillion largely put into infrastructure and housing sector. So from the 2009 to year 11, you say, and in fact further, you can year 12, huge money inject to economy. They got excited and then overdone, the whole thing overdone.
Home to over 4 billion people, the Asia-Pacific region boasts one of the most powerful consumer markets on the planet. Not only is it home to half the world's under 30 population, but it's also home to more than half the world's internet users. It's a market no globally minded brand should ignore, but entering markets like China is no easy task. Just ask the likes of Microsoft, Google, Uber, and Facebook. Times are changing, and with the right partners, doors are slowly opening as more and more companies find success expanding into the markets of the Middle Kingdom. I myself spent 8 years in China, mostly as a venture capitalist, helping early-stage tech companies enter the Asia-Pacific market successfully. This show is dedicated to uncovering and examining successful China entry and growth strategies by interviewing the people behind those success stories. My name is Todd Embley, and welcome to The Negotiation, brought to you by WPIC Marketing and Technologies. Hi, Simon. Thanks for coming on the show. Really good to have you today.
Yeah, thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit of, a little bit of a history lesson about China's housing market? How did it become? How did it develop? How long ago did Chinese consumers really start, to purchase homes for themselves and for their families?
Okay. Yes. It is a long story, but cut it short. Originally, in planned economy, the housing was provided by the government, housing. So public provision for the government. So house and land have no value, no price, okay, have no value, all supplied by government. But in the planned economy, about 40 years ago or 30 years ago, but in that economy, definitely not well, and the housing strict shortage. And then they start opening up, the economy started opening up, and then in the housing sector, they start to learn from Hong Kong, in fact, learn from Hong Kong. So Hong Kong, those guys, architecture and land surveyor and this market come to China to helping them to establish the land market and then start to auction the land. That is in the 1986 or 87, something like that. So when they auction the land and then the market coming in and then, they start to flourish. They found the land price and then it stimulates the market interest and then a lot of resource pour into this market and build a lot of housing. And then people start to buy house. And then government start to play the game, play the land premium game, sell the land. So from, I think, let's say the real market from the 1990 or 1991, then the market start to pick up. And then in the early stages, still the market operation. They boom and bust. But later on, particularly after your United States, the financial tsunami from 2008, financial tsunami from 2008, and then China need to stimulate the economy, and then building up this sector, housing sector, as a pillar industry, as a pillar, a lot of money coming in for GDP, for infrastructure, and largely for real estate. And the market start to ever increase, not allowed to go down, not allowed to go down. The price not allowed to go down. I say after 2010, maybe say 10 years ago or 8 years ago, they not allow the market price going down. So they always maintain steady market. And then the people now have the concept. The only way to buy the land, buy the flat, and then the only way to save money, only way to get electric is buy the flat. And then government also play like that. And the ordinary household, they also thinking about that. So the market orderly go up. And then higher and higher. Now, let's say talk about China's major city, like first tier city, Beijing, Shanghai, Shenzhen, Guangzhou, the housing price really like walking in another planet. Really walking in another planet, really high. If you're talking about their stock, the housing stock, or the value of the stock, they really can buy out your guy, New York City, London City, they can buy out in terms of value in their housing. Okay, that's the history. Okay.
Tell us about, because the style of home that they purchase, it's very different. I used to live in China for 8 years. I remember that there's not a lot of houses that have a garage or a backyard or, they have their own kind of property, right? Why? It's very different in China, right?
The house we call flat. So most of them is a high-rise house, high-rise flat. They don't have their own garage. They have the basement or the garage, basement now. Largely because the shortage of land in all high-rise building, and then they're not like Western, the villa style, house style. You have your own garage, so they can't afford that. So largely it's a Hong Kong style.
Who were the big real estate companies in China that really started to emerge in the 90s and the 2000s?
Yeah, that is a really interesting question. Who is the major player, let's say major player in this sector? Okay. And now from the very beginning, it is a market player coming to pick the land in the very original stage, initial stage. But later, immediately, they found, wow, the land can earn a lot of money. The housing is really lucrative, really profit. And then the interest coming in, the interest largely come from government. Government on the one day, the monopoly for the land, government monopoly the land, they sell the land out for the developer. And those developer originally is a private developer, but largely gradually transform the interest, the government, and then the capital, the max interest. So who you talking about developer? Okay, the developer in the name, the largest developer you can still say is a private company. They call 民营企业, private company, but they are heavily correlated with the government. Looks like a private, but it have a strong interest with the government. That's the way they already create a trade, a value trade. Land and developer, government control land, the developer build the house, but they do have a very close relation. So no matter talking about is private firm or state firm, a lot state firm also engage in this sector. Developer law is stay firm. No matter state or private, they heavily correlate.
There are a lot of developments where they're not full of people. How is this housing economy in China? How are they able to build so many places without putting filling them with a population of people?
That is a really good question, and then really interesting question. Let's tell you what. The first, they build the house initially is really want to solve the people's accommodation, but later is not. Later purely for GDP, for the output, the domestic product, GDP. So that very important for the local government, for the official. For example, your GDP growth, that is the major way or only way to value you are succeed or not succeed. So, okay, now you understand how a housing can be used to accommodate the people. And then another one can be also to link up the official for their political performance, value their performance. So produce GDP is the major thing at the later stage. Okay, that's one. So, but the question is how can they can last that long? If the house is not lived by people, how can they last that long? Okay, the trick is here. They build the flat, even though the flat is not occupied by the people, but they still okay to build it. Because as long as the building was built, the government already get half percent, let's say 50%, the value from one way or another, like a tax, like the construction tax, like a sale tax, something like that. Even the building not occupied, but they normally sold. As long as they sold, even though they are not sold, okay, even they are not sold, they still government already get, let's say, 1/3 to half the whole value. They already get into the government coffin, okay, which means building the flat one way for sure, they already help to lead up the government body, lead up. The government live on the building. The government live on, or government, the finance by the building. So that's the way they, even the building not occupied, they still build it. Like ghost town after ghost town, but they still build it. You guys don't understand. How come this is ghost town? The people still buy it, or how come they still build it? Yeah, it is still built. It's still built because of the underlying picture. Even though not so yet. Of course, neither is mentioned. No people live there. Even they are not so. The government already get 50%, 1/3, 30 to 50%. When you get out from that, and then government really, this money is finance, government operation, government body. So that's why you see even the ghost town after ghost town, they keep building that. Okay, that is first story. The second story, government will maintain. Because government, due to this exercise, due to this value trade, government want to keep selling the land. Which means also want the developer keep buying the land, keep building the flat, okay? Keep building the flat. And then, so government maintain the price. You're not allowed the price going down. The price, of course, government don't like you radically go up. That is obviously politically chaotic. If you like a price radically go up, but government equally don't like it to go down. If the price go down, a big problem. So government try their best only maintain steadily. Or if you grow a little bit by little bit, you cannot radical grow. The best picture is steady, okay? But haven't they got, okay, when government doing that, government in order to make this market workable, when government doing that, So to create a tremendous wrong perception, the wrong perception, people saying, government will protect this market. Government will bail this market out. So investment in this market, never wrong. It's only good thing to do. Never wrong, because government bail out it, government maintain it. So that moral hazard, like a moral hazard. So that's the way making this thing rolling. Every people think if they have surplus money, even they don't have, they are not affordable because they can lend, they can borrow from the bank, definitely buy the flat. And then, so a lot of flat, in fact, is sold. It's not so, even the ghost town, okay? Ghost town, the ghost town was sold out. That is the ideal situation. Ghost town is sold out, which means if the ghost town is sold out, the government have no problem. The developer also no problem. Financially solvent, no problem. So in the end, who is the problem when you show it out? In the end, is the individual, household, and bank. Because household, in fact, they not necessarily, they all buy mortgage. They buy the housing all by mortgage. Household create a lot of debt, and the debt eventually is for the bank. So the banking system and the household system, that bear the end result, end risk. And so as long as the market price steady, they are not slump, then the economy still maintained. That's why you see the picture going out, keep going. The pictures keep going.
Do you think that there is a housing bubble right now in China?
A huge bubble.
Is it dangerous?
I believe all cities, to me, all cities have a huge bubble. Normally, the people say the first tier city or provincial capital city don't have a bubble. Like Beijing, Shanghai, Shenzhen, Guangzhou, they don't have bubble because this city a lot of population flood in, still aim the population. And some provincial capital, that still a lot of people moving in. They say normally this city, the major city, let's say, they don't have the bubble, but to me, they all have bubble. They all surplus. The housing flat, let's say the unit, I think next 20 years, they don't need to build any house. It's still good enough. Next 20 years, in my judgment. The huge bubble, the only thing is the government really, with the bank, with the developer, really try their best to maintain the first price not going down, the price not going down first. Second, developer not broken, not shortage of money. So that's why they always provide liquidity. They always buy printing money. And whenever there was problem now, here bankruptcy going on, there bankruptcy going on. Oh, no, you cannot bankrupt. We will hold it. We will restructure you. You cannot dumping your housing price. You cannot dumping your land. You cannot dumping your flat. Everything you cannot do. I try my best. For example, I provide liquidity for you. I provide the money into the firm, and then maintain the whole thing. Not really out of control. That's why they are doing now. Of course, the question to this one, how long you can maintain? How long you can maintain? That is the question. But having said that, it is so far they're doing so good. Now, at least past 30 years, they're doing so good. They're not burst yet. So I have an article talking about how big the bubble it is, why they're not burst. I have that article because the situation like that now, bust and die. And then you keep boom, you live, okay? You keep boom, you have the life. You will live on. Keep the price there, then you will live on. But if you bust or price shot down, then you really die. But of course, now they increasingly come known now this is not the model move forward. Now this model or this way cannot sustain. So that's why they strictly control the housing sector, not further lending, not further injection money into the sector. But on the other hand, you also not allow you burst. Not allow you burst. So that they are management fine management in this area. They know this is no good now. A lot negative impact. The biggest thing is the financial system crisis, and then trigger the whole economic crisis. So that is they aware there. Try to avoid that. Okay.
From 2005 to 2011, there was a lot of growth, right? And then in 2011, it started to slow down. What happened in 2011, and what happened between maybe even 2011 to 2017? Because it was a little bit slower, wasn't it?
In fact, the real turning point is 2013. As the real turning point. Okay, let's say that way. From 2005, if you can a little bit earlier, 2001, China entered the WTO. 2001, China entered the WTO. First, there is a symbolic or milestone, World Trade Organization. And 2008, China hold Olympic. That is another milestone, another icon. So from this 2000 to 2008, in fact, there are a little bit late effect. From 2001 to 2010 or 11, say this 10 years, yes, continually rapid boom, economic boom. Some is decent. It is manufacture, world factory, export, manufacture, rapid growth. China's really booming, and the economy is decent because the export, manufacture. This is not land, not the land. So they're economic booming, and then during this booming, they also realize the land market, this is the most profitable one. So the housing also go up like that. 2009, okay, 2008 is the Olympic. 2009 is the world financial crisis triggered by United States, the prime, the so-called prime bubble, something like that, the financial tsunami. So, and then in 2009, first in United States, and then the whole world financial tsunami, and later European, the so-called the big country, Greek, and Southern Europe, a lot of sovereign bond, sovereign debt is burst. A lot follow one by one. So in China, the first one responds to this financial tsunami, so-called the 4 trillion yuan injection to the economy. That 4 trillion largely put into infrastructure and housing sector. So from the 2009 to year 11, you say, and in fact further, you can year 12, wow, because this is the injection of the money, huge money inject to economy, they got excited and then overdone, the whole thing overdone, the whole economy overdone, manufacture overdone, okay, economy overdone, real estate, housing all overdone. So they already create huge bubble during that time. And then let's say, really from the 2013, they are start to so-called the macroeconomic stingy or contingent or stingy policy, start to contain this overheat situation. And then from there on, and then government control. So in fact, the land sale is not that good now, and they know the people now. So that is the turning point. They start to control. The bubble is already too big. But having said that, even from the what you call 2011 or what I call 2013, even from that, the housing sector still the only way to go forward. Because other economy already slump. Okay, not mention the new economy, like a digital economy, like an internet economy. That one is booming. Digital economy or internet economy, that could be the booming. But by and large, the older one, conventional economy, really like going down, slow down, really surplus. Manufacture really surplus by and large. So the only way still the housing sector, real estate, and infrastructure. So the bubble keep going, keep rolling. So even by that time, it slowed down, going down. Even the GDP also going down. But the bubble still going up. The debt, the whole economy's debt still going up. So that is the way they are running. Because why they going up? Because the only thing, this is the only way we can maintain the economy. This is the only way we can maintain the economy. And then this keep pumping the money in, keep printing money, keep pumping the money in. Let's say from the 2013, a lot is bubble. Many bubbles are being that. They are also, they know that, but they want to buy time. Okay, just postpone the burst, delay the burst, hoping, buying the time, and then exhaust or absorb all this bubble. That is the way they're thinking. But at this moment, what I see from the debt, the whole national debt, and from the those housing bubble, I think it's still going up, not really under control yet.
In the West or in Europe, the people like to invest. They like to buy property as an investment, but they also invest in stock market, right? They also invest in technology. They invest in mining or other things. It seems that maybe in China, the favorite place to invest money is always in property. Why not more investing in stock markets or other things?
Let's say that way. Now in China, more relative transparent, relative, or they can see the only way they can invest because housing price going up. Housing price all the way going up, most of them. At least now they are not turning point yet. The turning point not yet. So the only way they see, this is the brick, okay, the brick. The fiscal brick is the only way you can invest. Other part of stock, that is nasty price. Chinese stock market is the nastiest price, even much worse than much worse than the housing. Because that is so-called gambling. The gambling price. The stock market. Why stock market like that? Of course, the financial system was not really built up integrity and then the legal system, the transparency and consumer interest. All this one they not built up yet in financial system or financial market like the stock market. So the financial market, it is not for the ordinary people. They already died many times, busted many times. So, for example, 20 years ago, the stock index create 1,000 index. Now only 3,000. 20 years, basically no. If you're on the inflation, basically no trend. Which means for ordinary people, you go into the stock market, the only way is losing your money. You're going to fail in the stock market. Also to other financial products, you're going to fail. Largely because of the system, lack of transparency, lack of accountability, lack of the supervision or like that. Okay, the stock market, on the other hand, why housing market? Why housing market? First, you see the government successfully maintain the price stable first. Second, going up. So they can see this is the only way we can get the gain investment, get the gain from that. The first. The second, of course, government already give them a concept. The whole society, all people already know This area, government will build them out. Government will protect this one. So if anything wrong, the government will wrong first. If anything burst, government will burst first. So which means they buy it together. Now, the government will die first than me. So how come I'm not follow? Okay. So if government will die first earlier than me, so I don't worry. Of course, on the other hand, I don't think government will die. Okay. I don't think government will die. So that's the way that the real estate. So now you can see, particularly in my southern place, I'm in Zhuhai now, Shenzhen, Zhuhai, Guangdong, Great Bay Area. This area, I can tell you what, I just bought two flats. I'm looking at this place. Wow, very quick to sell. They open to sell only 1 day, 2 days. They can sell the whole project. Very good sell. Where the money come from? The entirely not from the local, not from local. In fact, the money come from all around the country. The northern people, Mongolia, Northeast China, Xinjiang, all northern people, the rich people, they have money, they come down to buy. So just in one belief, this one was protected by government. This one will protect the government. Government want them to grow up. So, and then it is definitely correct to buy. Of course, now not whole country like that, only this certain place. Those there, 30, 40, 50 city, like their city is no good. Northeast city is no good. North city is no good. Okay, West city is no good. They all no good, but the southern city is still good.
There was a lot of urban movement. The population was really moving, right? Everybody was going to the big cities, maybe sometime after Mao Zedong, everybody was, started to move and went to the big city, went to the coast, right? Went to the port cities. Did all of this population moving to the big cities, did this really change or impact the housing market?
This one is definitely helpful, really helpful. They already have the specific data called net income, net population migrant. They can move out and move in. Those cities have the net migrant in or net growth of the population. That definitely help the housing market. And tell you what, the whole country, not that many cities have net growth of population, not many. Only those southern cities, Great Bay Area, or some capital city, provincial capital city. So vast inland, vast northeast city losing population. So let's say that way. Now, for sure, those housing market in those areas, we call third tier, fourth tier, fifth tier city, all no good now. They have difficult to sell. They already have difficult to sell. Huge bubble in there. Huge bubble here. Also have bubble in this side, but not as severe as the inland area.
If you own, like I remember, I used to live in Dalian, and from Dalian down to Lushan, right down on the coast.
Yeah,
and they started to make huge developments. 28,000 people can live in this one place, but like you said, it's a ghost town. Right? If you need money, can you sell it? Is it liquid? Is the property market liquid?
No, definitely not liquid. Really difficult to sell in those Dalian. Also difficult to sell. Dalian is one of the city, let's say 10 years ago, is a star city. When you be near Dalian, is really buoyant, really promising. But now, this past 10 years, Dalian decline. Of course, largely because the political, okay? The whole Northeast economy is no good. Northeast economy no good. So in fact, the whole Northeast economy, even the Shenyang, even the Shenyang, Liaoning province capital, Jilin, Changchun, or Harbin, they in fact all losing population, net losing population. Very difficult to sell. For example, the market here, then you can sell like that, like dumping your flat, you might able to sell. Even like that, you're still not necessary to sell. In those areas, definitely for sure. And vast inland area like that, the market not liquid. The market not liquid. Even in Zhuhai, also not that liquid. Even the southern area, also not that liquid. In the southern area, not that liquid. It's largely because not because the ordinary one like Dalian, like the inland, have a lot flat. Here, not liquid because the new flat, they keep going to build the new flat. The new flat, the price could be more advantageous, more competitive. So making the second-hand market is not that easy to sell. So even the Zhuhai also, or Zhongshan, many counties also not that liquid.
Has there been any kind of impact from the COVID-19 pandemic? Did this do anything to the housing market?
It is serious. Originally, we are very scary with the COVID-19. If you don't get paid, you don't get the paycheck, you don't get the wage for 3 months, then you have difficulty to pay your mortgage for vast those working class, So yes, we can tell first the economy do suffer first. But fortunately in China, it's not that long. The COVID-19, they do quick control. Now they do start to open it up. People start to travel, start to do business. Economy, particularly the export sector, doing quite well because the whole world still in the ravage of the pandemic. Only China is not. So a lot order from overseas. So far I can see the economy bounce back quite a bit relative to the rest of the world is better. So if that momentum keep going, then should be fine. China should be fine. If they like your Western, the pandemic like that keep going, and China will have severe consequences. The housing bubble will really trigger to bust. But so far, so good. Because the economy bounced back.
There's a company called the Evergrande Group.
Oh, yeah, Evergrande. Yeah, that's the largest company in mainland, yeah.
Why are they in the news? Why does everybody hear about this Evergrande company?
Yeah, they sensational news because this Evergrande is the largest developer in China. Largest developer, and then their boss or their director of the Evergrande also really high tier, high profile. They engage many like a soccer, like a bottled water, like a financer, many from Evergrande doing, and the largest developer in China, across the whole country. Thousands of project, doing very famous, the first. But having said that, this is the number one China's developer. Have huge debt. They have huge debt. And then, of course, part of the debt is overseas through the Hong Kong market, stock market. It can finance it. Debt, a lot debt. We know that a lot debt. Internally, they also have a lot debt. So they recently burst the event is they say, because he wants in the stock market to raising a lot of fund, but outside they already too high, and they want to turn into mainland market to raise fund from the capital market. And then he buy our share. He buy our share. If the success can list into mainland stock market, he buy this share, buy the company. If they successfully to list, and then they will raise a lot of money. They can get a lot of money. So injection of liquidity. So the company will keep going, keep doing well. But the problem is that the government, the regulation, not allow them so to list in the stock market. So when they're doing this exercise, they already borrow a lot of money. Now, if I list, then I can turn the money to you. If I not list, and then the money will become a debt. So this company was being purchased, want to trace the money. Now, you can't hang on like that. I need the money back. I need my money back. You already used the huge money. I want the money back. So there is debt, and then they are not able to pay back the debt. So the Evergrande to push the government. These push the government. Now, you're not allowed me to list, then I will broken. And then I will broken, you will die first. The government, you will die first. That's bully, okay? That's picks off or bully to the government, basically like that. And there is telling you a story, true story. Even the company like that, number one company, they still huge debt, still if liquidity shortage, and then they will burst first on you want. And then the second, if they burst, then the whole society, the government could burst first. So that's why government in the end, even though they're not allowed to list the capital market yet, but in the end, helping them to restructure. At least don't need to pay that many debt to that company. Don't need to pay huge debt to company. A lot further borrowing, further other debtor to borrow, lend the money to them. So the thing now currently see already solved. The problems are already solved, but the debt's still going on. So that's the Evergrande story.
If you're a young person and you just graduate from university, you get a job, you find a girl or a boy, and you get married, can you still buy a home? Is it affordable to still buy a home, or are they just too expensive now? And if you can buy a home, how do you get the money to pay for it?
For the major city, definitely they are not affordable to current housing. The current housing is too far. Even me, at 10 times, my wage could be at least 5 times, 10 times more than those young graduates. I still have a problem. They are not affordable. But on the other hand, a lot of people have many units, far more than they need. There is a huge imbalance. That could be a big problem. So, of course, those young people, as long as they get a good paid job, particularly in the IT sector, and then they still can buy, and then through the bank lending, through mortgage lending, and then they still can. But very risky, really heavy burden to them.
How do they borrow? Because how do you have, like in the West, we have a credit score, right? And the bank will look at your credit score and think, okay, you are responsible with money. I can measure how much money you have, how much money you owe, and how much money you have to spend on a house to pay every month. How do the banks work in China? How do young people borrow money?
First, they will use similar system to value your credit. But on the other hand, normally in Chinese, when they buy the flat, normally utilize their parents' saving. For example, the banking, as long as you pay 30% down payment, that is very strict. 30% down payment. So the bank also thinking about this lending is safe. We already get your 30% down payment.
Right.
So this 30%, for the youngster, most likely they borrow or given by their parent, or another borrow from the credit card. They use credit card to borrow, and then like that. As long as they get a 30% down payment, so normally it's not difficulty for you to borrow money from the bank now.
Last question for you. What is the future for housing in China? Just your opinion, your thoughts.
Yeah, it is quite a puzzle.
Yeah.
It is quite a uncertainty, not like a crystal ball we can see through, particularly based on our knowledge from the Western, knowledge from Western. Let's say that China's housing bubble is huge, that's for sure. The debt for the developer, the debt for the government, the debt from the individual household, all high, or extraordinarily high. So that is no good picture. So from that viewpoint, we definitely need to see a kind of correction. We see sometime down the road they will burst. They will have the crisis. That's our logical thinking. They will crash. They will burst. And that is one story. Okay. But on the other hand, we also see more that Western people not necessarily see. The government tried their best, even life or death. Government tried their best to protect this sector, prevent this sector burst. So, okay, the bubble rolling up and then will ending to burst. But the government try to protect, cooling it down, try their best cooling down. So these two forces fight each other. So who win? I don't know. At least can prolong this one. So in the end, I will think about two things. Either you can safeguard your housing price, or you safeguard your RMB value, not depreciation RMB.
Yeah.
So in the end, these two things, one way or another, something will go wrong. You protect this housing price, then you may ending up the value could be tremendous devalue. Or you will protect this value, you will need to squeeze the bubble, and then the housing price will correction. The future is no good, not good at all. Full of the challenges, full of uncertainty. I still thinking about they need a correction. The capital price need a severely correction. Okay, in the long term, if they maintain either the balance of the RMB, less than if they're good enough, fortunate enough, not big burst, and then maintain two things, slowly going down, slowly correction. That is the best scenario they can get. But something if going to extreme, either this bust this stem, or either this bust this stem. So that is another scenario, I think. Generally speaking, the picture is no good, gloomy. Okay.
Simon Zhao, thank you very, very much for all your answers and your insights. I appreciate it very much.
Okay, thank you.
Growing a company is hard. Doing it in a foreign market? Exponentially so. The best piece of advice I can give you is not to do it alone. When you start looking across the pond for further expansion possibilities, and I sincerely hope that you do, make sure you choose the right partners to do it with. My good friends at WPIC Marketing and Technologies have almost 20 years of experience helping brands just like yours enter China. I hope you enjoyed this episode of The Negotiation, and if you're interested in being a guest or want to connect with me or any of our team, please reach out to us at podcast@wpic.co, and be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. 再见。